Hi everyone, this is Anna from the Raven Wolf channel. Tonight I'm gonna be reading the introduction of the Mayan factor. Um, I came with this idea last night when I was talking to Anya, and I thought maybe I should just read the introduction. And if you guys are interested of me reading some of the chapters of this book, do let me know. Leave a comment on the description below. No, not description below, on the comment section. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. My left eye is not doing very well tonight, or really all day today. This is actually the eye that the cornea specialist cut a tiny incision because I had a really bad infection, and he cut it with a surgical knife, and my eye never healed from that. So I have better some days better than others. So tonight is not a good day for my eye. So, anyways, in case you were wondering, now you know. All right, so I'm gonna start reading the introduction. So, ever since the triumph of rationalism and the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century, it has been institutionalized truism that modern science represents the pinnacle of human achievement. The belief is that cornerstone of the doctrine of material technological progress. The notion that there could have been a science more advanced than the previous one, which after all underlines every aspect of global industrial civilization, has been virtually unthinkable. Yet the moment has come when the rationally unthinkable may be the only solution remaining in order to allow safe passage beyond the treacherous onslaught of nuclear militarism and environmental poisoning in which threatens the existence of this planet. Entrenched and ever vigilant in their self-support, the forces of scientific materialism have zealously guarded the portals of their domain. Keep in mind a single goal: to maintain the myth of ever-progressing technological superiority. Thus, UFOs, varieties of paranormal experience that discovered in 1976 of rationality, inexplicable phenomena on Mars swiftly become classified documents with help from the public. Yet on the morning of January 28, 1986, just 4 days after the triumphant Voyager 2 flew by Uranus with its bewildering information release, the Space Shuttle Challenge exploded in full televised and public view. In that awesome fiery moment, the myth of technological superiority suffered a severe blow. It is the window of doubt and vulnerability provided by the challenger's fateful mission that intelligent people may question as never before the supposed of technology and infallibility of modern science. Though the crack in the myth of technological superiority, strange winds now blow. In the moonlight of that which transcends scientific rationalism, we may pose these questions. What if the way we're doing things is not the best or wisest? What if they are the most intelligent what if we are not the most intelligent civilization known to Earth? Could there have been people smarter, wiser, and more advanced than us, who in our smugness we have overlooked? Could there have been a science superior to our practices both on this planet and elsewhere? Oh, my nose is itching. What makes us so sure that scientific materialism is the best technique to wrench answers from a cosmos infinitely more vast and mysterious than the rational mind can comprehend? In other words, what this spectre of technological crisis invokes is a paradigm shift of genuinely radical nature. Such a shift has been in the air for a long time. Thanks for to pioneers research in quantum physics, but has needed an experimental jolt to get grounded. Um, let's see. Through the 20th century, I'm gonna have to open this. Through the 20th century, sensitive science minds have been attempted to inform themselves about and alert the public to the irrational behaviors of the world with rational science tries to observe. Though their message has escaped the warlords and technocrats whose decision-making power shapes to the social orders popularizers of the new science like Fritjof Capra, Isaac Bentov, Gary Zukov, had made admirable efforts to communicate the similarity between quantum physics and Eastern mysticism, at least to a critical thinking minority. Indeed, the conclusion to Zukov's The Dancing Wu Live Masters from 1979 verges on the unthinkable by declaring that we are approaching the end of science. Yet even he, incapable of surrendering the notion of the unresting endeavors and continually progressing development of more and more comprehensive and useful physical theories. The real end of science, long anticipated radical paradigm shifts, means surrender of the notions of unceasing progress itself, or at least the surrender of it long enough to see whether they may not be non-physical or non-materialistic science that transcends the notion of progress and non-progress altogether. Of course, the myth of scientific progress and technological superiority could receive no greater blow than to discover that more advanced science existed prior to the rise of the myth of progress, practiced by people who, by modern estimations, we're still in the Stone Age. Most specifically, I am referring to the system of thought virtually overlooked by all of the proponents of the new science. This system of thought is the science known and practiced by the ancient people called the Maya. The closest examples of Maya science known to champion of the new science is the Chinese legacy of the I Ching. Even the I Ching, however, has not been fully comprehended by the new scientists who, still immersed in the doctrine of progress, have not been able to see it for what it is, the code form of a science based on holonomic resonance rather than atomic physics. Martin Schnovern, The I Ching and the Genetic Code, The Hidden Key of Life from 1973, Robert Anton Wilson, The Illuminati Papers from 1980, and My Own Earth Ascending from 1984 are some of the few efforts that approach the I Ching as an example of a system that there is more comprehensive than that one present-day science. As Schonberger put it, the I Ching represents a world formula with the stature of an order of reality, the answer to Heisenberg's quest for those anonymous basic forms and polar symmetries of uniform nature. Like the world order system of the I Ching, the system of the Maya science is one of the holonomic resonance, as much of the future as it is in the past. Indeed, from the perspective of the Maya science, the term future and past are of little value as gauges of superiority or progress. For the Maya, if time exists at all, it is a circuit from whose common source future and past equally, always meeting and being united in the present moment. Mayan science, like the I Ching, can be considered both pre and post-scientific. That's very interesting. How it is then that at this moment of technological crisis and paradigm shift, the Maya invite themselves into our consciousness. Who were or are the Maya? Where did they came from? What were their achievements? Why they do what they did? Why did they abandon their civilization at its peak? Where did they go and why? While Eastern forms of thoughts of actual practices, yoga, meditation, flower arranging, martial arts, and so forth, have slowly become an increasingly prevalent phenomenon over the past half century, relentless revolutioning our culture and impacting on our scientific thinking. The Maya have remained enigmatic and remote. Yet, to evoke the Maya of Central America, it is same time to evoke our curious resonance from the East from India. After all, Maya is a key Hindu philosophical term meaning origin of the world and world of illusion. The word Maya in Sanskrit is further related to concepts meaning great, measure, mind, magic, and mother. Not surprisingly, we find the name Maya of the mother of Buddha. And in the Vedic classic, the Mahabharata, we read Maya was the name of a noted astrologer, astronomer, magician, and architect, as well as the same of a great wandering tribe of navigators. Not only in ancient India, home of the high metaphysical and spiritual adventure, we find the name Maya, but also farther to the west. The treasure of the renowned boy king of Egypt, Tutankhamun, was named Maya. While in Egyptian philosophy, we find the term Mayet, meaning universal world in. In Greek mythology, the seven Pleiades, daughters of Atlas and Pleione, and sisters of Hades, number among them one called Maya, also known as the brightest star of the constellation of Pleiades. And finally, we know that our month of May is derived from the name of the Roman goddess Maya, the Great One, the goddess of spring, daughter of Faunus and wife of Vulcan. So that's very interesting because we're hitting a synchronicity. Yesterday, we were talking the show with Anya about the different meanings and different names that the months in the Gregorian calendar. And actually, Anya pointed this out, that it was a Roman goddess named Maya. So that's pretty cool. Okay, back to the book. Returning to the Maya of Central America, we find that their name is derived from the word Mayab. Mayab. The term given to describe the Yucatan Peninsula, key area of the Mayan bioregional home base. So the question remains, who were the Maya? Why it is that the name associated with the Central American civilization appear across the rest of the world? It is just a coincidence? Where did the Maya came from? Current anthropological dogma has it said that the Maya were part of the large group of American Indians who crossed the Bering Strait from Asia during the last ice age as recently as 1,200 years ago, and eventually settled it in now Central America. To read the late Mayan texts like the Popol Vuh, the Book of the Chilam Balam, and the Annals of the Cacricles, we get the distinct impressions that indeed the Mayan arrival from afar, from the other side of the sea, we came to the place called Tulan, where we were begotten and gave birth by our mothers and fathers, the Cacricles said. I'm pretty sure I'm saying the name wrong. Least one thing that matters is simple. We read elsewhere in the same, somewhat garbled text that there were 4 Tulans. From 4 places the people came to Tulan. In the east is one Tulan, another in the Silbal Bay, the underworld, another in the west, where we came ourselves from the west, and another is where God is above heaven. Therefore, there were 4 Tulans. In examining the foreign passages, we find that the place of origin of the process of origin described by the Maya in the late text is mandalic, celestial, and cosmic in nature. The four tulans represented the solar passages, east and west, as well as the superworld and the underworld. Furthermore, a reading of the ancient Mayan and Mexican history and mythology in general shows that Tulan, or Toyan, is an archetypal code name as such as an actual place. What if Tulan described not necessarily a geographic place, but process of becoming and point of entry from one world realm into another? In this regard, the Mayan recollection of origins resemble the Hopi, which describe passages from different worlds, of which the present is the fourth. But what are these worlds? Do they describe earlier stages of life on this planet? Or do they describe cosmic passages simultaneously occurring on this planet or elsewhere? Leaving aside the question of the origins, we find ourselves on firmer grounds in contemplating the achievement of the Maya. Unquestionable, the Maya represent one of the greatest civilizations flowering on planet Earth. Scattered across the jungles of the Yucatan and the highlands of the present-day Guatemala are incredible numbers of ancient cities and template cities, towering step pyramids, finely laid out plazas and ceremonial centers, are exquisitely adorned with sculpted stones, cover everything with hieroglyphic inscriptions. Several things strike us about the magnificent Mayan ruins. Chief among them being their location. Even in relation to the close connection, highland Mexican civilization, the Mayan artist's style is unique, isolated in the Central American jungles. The Maya appear as aloof as they are remote. Yet, in considering the pyramids towering over the jungle's trees, lines, and their intricate hieroglyphs, we are also struck by how late in global history the Maya appeared. Almost 3,000 years after the peak of the pyramid building in Egypt, whose civilization they rightly beg comparison, the Mayan thrust themselves onto the scene. Thrust themselves onto the scene. Even more dramatic than the relatively late rise of the Mayan civilization is sudden abandonment by AD 830. After some 500 to 600 years of intense activity, the principal centers were left to time at the jungle. Of all the puzzles represented by the Maya, this seems to be the greatest one. Though efforts are made to hypothesize internal revolution, drought, or pestilence as a cause of abandonment of the great centers, there is no convincing proof of any of these theories. The probability still remains, as stunning to our way of thinking as it may be, that the Mayan consciously abandoned their civilization at its very peak. If this is the case, we must ask why. Yeah, why? Intimately related to the mysteries of abandonment of the key centers around AD 830 is the enigma not only of the meaning of hieroglyphs, but of the kernel mathematical and astronomical data left behind by the Maya. If the Maya had just left behind their architecture and artwork, their civilization would still rank with the highest that humanity has achieved. Wow. The Egyptian and the Greeks, the Gupta dynasty of India, the templates of Java, the Tang dynasty of China, and the classic Han dynasty of Japan. Yet it is their scientific achievement that stands out as much, if not more than the harmonic heights of the artwork, and continue to astonish us. Usually the Mayan scientific achievement is spoken of in terms of its calendrical attainments. The Mayan computed the length of the Earth revolution around the sun to within a thousandth of a decimal points of calculation of modern science. This we are endlessly told. They did without our precise instruments. Not only that, but they kept calendars of lunation and eclipse cycles, and even more, they maintained calendars recording synodical resolutions and synchronizations of the cycles of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And one of the certain monuments, we find the recording of dates and events occurring as much as 400 million years in the past. All of this they did with a unique and incredible simple yet flexible numerical system that counted by 20s instead of 10s and used three notational symbols. Why? And to what end? How does the Mayan calendrical knowledge relate to the mystery of the origins and to the enigma of abandonment of their major cities by AD 830? And where did the Maya go following AD 830? Certainly there are those that remained, and yet there is such a clear break prior to the recommencement of the Mayan civilization in the late 10th century. That is, if the rupture has been conscious and deliberate. Not only if a break between them so-called New Empire Maya and the pre-AD 830 Maya profound, but by the time the Spanish arrived, it is all understanding of the past had been forgotten, and yet the calendar remained. A clue for whom? We're almost done, you guys. 2 more pages. The archaeologists, of course, see the calendar system as just that, a way of recording time. But the question of why so much time is spent recording time remains unanswered. The suspicious dawns that the calendar is more than a calendar. Is the numeral system so exquisitely proficient also a mean of recording harmonic calibrations that relate not just to space and time positioning, but to resonate qualities of being and experience whose nature our materialistic predisposition blinds us to? There is no question that in the volumes of literature written about the Maya and their bafflingly precise intellectual accomplishment, few are the writers who approach the matter with anything but a view of the Mayan civilization as being a thing of the past, was not as advanced as ours. The entrenched progressivist view that the Maya presented one of several streams of civilizations struggling against all environmental odds to attain in our level of materialism and science is the view that informs almost everything said about the Maya. And for this reason, most everything said about the Maya may be dead wrong. After many years of study and contemplation of the Mayan mystery, I have come to the inexplicable conclusion that the Maya cannot be understood with yardsticks that we have used to measure and judgment. Having along intuitively felt that the purpose of life according to the Maya might have been far difficult than our materialistic imagination can reckon, I have most recently come to the further conclusion not only that the Maya, at least the Maya whose civilization came to a broad halt at its peak in AD 830, were smarter than we are, but that their science was well advanced of ours. For this reason, it matters little that they used no metal tools or labor-saving devices such as the wheel. They also had no beast of burden. Because they could accomplish so much with so little, the Mayan has something very important to teach us in our moment of technological crisis and paradigm shift. Indeed, the Maya already possess not only the new paradigm, but also the scientific knowledge by which the paradigm may be applied. This being so, it may also be not just by chance that the Maya were at least of the ancient stream of civilization to come to flower on this planet, nor may it chance that the Maya presented the last overlooked ancient tradition to be examined and understood in the light of the modern thought, In fact, it may be just well be that the time is right for rediscovery of the Maya. Yay, I agree with that. In considering of all of this, I have come to feel spiritual presence of the Maya, uncanny sages of what we call time, masters of synchronization. The Mayan presence chuckle and grind. Of course, the time is right. It has all been mapped, laid out, blueprinted. The clues have been applied, left behind. All that has been all that has been wanting is the right frame of mind to look at clues. The breakdown of the present frame of mind allows emergence of the possibility of reading the clues and drawing the right conclusion from them. Conclusions that may have much to do with steering planetary affairs from a course of extinction to one of transformation. In preparing this presentation of this text, I am guided by two things: the study of phenomena that I have come to understand as the galactic master code, and the intuition that the dramatic break with the current scientific paradigm is absolutely necessary if we are going not to only survive but transform in the most positive and benign way possible. Having been so long overlooked, the Maya factor must be examined. The thought of doing this book came to me very suddenly. Yet, as I reflected on it, I realized that I have been working with the material over 30 years. At this stage in my life and in the life of the planet, it is necessary to present clearly, coherently, and honest, which is true. The ways the truth are manifold. Insight, direct intuition, experience, and revelation are completely by study, research, testing, and examination. All of these elements have brought into play in dealing with and presenting the Mayan factor. But more than anything else, I feel it's my duty to present as simply and directly as possible the Mayan code, the harmonic module. More than a calendar, the Mayan harmonic module presented at this time evokes the image from the I Ching. Hexagram 49. Yeah, I'll show you guys a picture. It's talking about that. It is the interest of setting the calendar in order. The calendar as the cosmically Boyagin Maya knew it, and making clear that we are involved in a galactic season that this book is presented. Armed and reassured with such knowledge, we might set ourselves aright with the earth and drop our childish and now very dangerous infatuations with the myth of progress and technological superiority. In this lies the importance of the Mayan factor, path beyond technology. So that was the introduction of the Mayan. I want to show you guys this picture of the Mayan factor. Do you guys see that star? It looks like the cross that is in the New Mexican flag. I think there's a name for that star or that cross or whatever. But anyways, you guys, that was the introduction of the Mayan factor. And if you guys are interested in learning more about what this book is presented here, please do let me know, because if you guys are, then I will definitely be reading the chapters with you guys, just like this. So I hope you guys enjoy, and you guys have an awesome Friday, rest of the night, and an awesome weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. In Lakesh. Love you all. Bye.